Hello everyone, welcome to Nana's Tiny Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing a recipe that I had seen a long time ago and kind of made a little adjustments myself, which as time goes by and you get more and more comfortable cooking things, you tend to add your own spin to different recipes, which is a lot of fun. But today we're going to be doing chicken soup. But not just any chicken soup. This is chicken soup if you never want to get sick, boost that immune system, chicken soup. Okay, first we got a pot right here. This is where our soup is going to be made. And I have diced up some carrots, some celery, some onions, some of the celery leaves, garlic, fresh ginger root. Go to your supermarket and get some ginger root. Put it in a Ziploc bag when you don't use it and stick it in your freezer. Anytime you need to make tea or anything like that, or soups, anything you like ginger in, do some Asian recipes, you got your ginger and it always stays really, really good. Oh, I have rolls in the oven right now because we did a roast beef and I'm going to make a sandwich called the Godfather. And when I do that, I'll actually make a video so you guys can learn how to do that too. So this pot is heating up and I'm going to drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil. A couple of swirls around. Let me just take a peek at my rolls. Oh, don't you look gorgeous? Alright, you're going to hear my beeper go off because they only have a few seconds left. As this heats up, we're going to add, let me put my glasses on because I can't see anything without them, up close that is. We're going to do our onions, our celery, and our carrots. And this is going to be our base. I'm going to wait to put the garlic in because I need the onions, the celery, and the carrots to cook, to get slightly translucent. Oh, there's my rolls. Get everything in. And even my celery leaves are going to go right in there. Okay, let me grab a thingy so I can take my rolls out and I'll show you how they look. Wow, those look terrible. But I can't wait. Okay, I'm going to stick these right up here on top of my toaster oven so they cool off. Let's take a peek. Grab a spatula, take a peek underneath. Make sure. Oh, you're gorgeous. Okay, I could shut my oven off because I don't need that. Okay, as this is sauteing, I'm going to, well, soup is one of those things where you can add, throw the kitchen sink in there if you want to. But these specific ingredients are one of those chicken soup remedies for boosting your immune system. Now I have a jalapeno pepper here, which I'm going to cut up and add. And you know, any spicy food is good for your circulatory, wow, that's a good one, Lisa, circulatory system. So we're going to add that right in there. These were actually a couple of years ago grown in my garden, and I found them in the freezer, and I was like, oh, okay, I can use them. The ones I grew recently, they were left on the plant a little bit too long, and they got veiny and red. So you bite into one of these things, and it'll set your hair on fire. Okay. So all this is sauteing. Get this going. I could throw my jalapeno right in there. Now we all know the benefits of garlic. We know the benefits of ginger. We know the benefits of, you know, most of the ingredients. So I have some, this sad looking broccoli that actually I pulled out of my freezer from my garden this past summer. But it looks a little mushy is because it was in the freezer. So I'm just going to chop this up after and throw that in there. We raise our own chickens, so when I slice them up and I make cutlets, sometimes you get bits and pieces that you're like, okay, what can I do with this? Make chicken nuggets or whatever. So what I do is I take it and make a separate package and I put that in my freezer. And when I want to make chicken soup, I take that and I add it to some water and I kind of poach it. So this is what's going to go into the chicken soup. And it's probably about 2 cups. But if you don't have this and you want to go to the supermarket and grab one of those already roasted chicken kind of things and use whatever leftovers, you can certainly use that. Or if you happen to roast the chicken at home and you have leftover, chop it up, throw it right in your soup. Okay, this is going. I'm going to get my spoonie here and give it a stir around. We want the onions and everything to become translucent. And that water that I was poaching that chicken in, I'm going to actually use that as part of my stock. Whenever I make a roast chicken and I have the bones left over, I add some water to a big pot, and I throw the whole chicken in there, and I let it go for whatever, hours on really low, and I make my own pretty much bone broth. Because if you ever read the ingredients on a chicken stock or beef stock, it has spices and stuff already in it. So mine is pretty much straight up a bone broth. Okay, as this is getting down, I don't want it too high, I don't want to fry everything, I just want it nice and clear. I'm going to chop up this broccoli any way I want to. You could, stems and all. Stems, leaves, everything is going in here. I read somewhere that broccoli leaves actually have more nutrition than kale. And I'm not a fan of kale. So that's why I'm using broccoli. I mean, you can make it as pretty as you want to. Add as many colors as you want to. I have cauliflower in there I can chop up and throw in here. I have green beans from my garden I can chop up and throw in here. Anything you want. And I have one, I would say medium-sized bay leaf that's growing from a plant that I ordered from Etsy. And whenever I'm making soups and stews and stuff, I have my fresh bay leaf, which is a lot, it's a lot better flavor than the dry one that you get in the supermarket. You can certainly use that because I was using that for years. But once I got my own plant, I was like, wow, this is really good. Okay, this is cooking down. Hey, where'd you come from, broccoli? Just give you a quick chop up. It's easy to chop because it's mushy from the freezer. But I just wanted to add a little dark green. And broccoli is really good for you, too, so we're going to do that. And I could smell all the flavors of the onions and the celery and the carrots. I mean, it smells fantastic already. You could add a little rosemary to this if you wanted to. That's really delicious. I'm a big fan of rosemary. Get a little salt in there. Now you're salting to taste, so it's not really a true measurement. Right then and there I probably put about 1/4 teaspoon, and what it does is it helps the vegetables in here sweat out, which is what we want. Everybody nice and sauteed. See that? Beautiful. Now this is part of a bone broth. I forget what I was making, probably a gravy or some chicken gravy or something, that I had in my refrigerator, because like I said, I take that carcass and I throw it in with a bunch of water and let it go for hours. I mean, I'm futzing around the house anyway, so there's a pot on my stove for like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8 hours going with the cover on just really low. But when you take it out of the pot and it's still hot, I pour it into one of my big measuring things, and then I pour it into here, and it's still steamy hot. So when I close it and let the jar sit for a few minutes, it actually seals. So I can keep this in my refrigerator for a very long time. I probably have 2 more of these in the refrigerator from the last batch that I made. Okay, this is looking delicious. Now I have some, this looks like the store-bought parsley, but it's not. I had a friend that was growing parsley in their garden. So when my fake thingy, store-bought one, was empty, I filled it with good stuff. Now we want to add some parsley, probably about a half a teaspoon. Wake it up a little bit so you get nice flavor. At this point, I'm going to throw in my ginger. And I want to say about 2 teaspoons of ginger, but you can add as much or as little as you want. You make the adjustments accordingly. And then my garlic. And again, about 2 teaspoons or 2 cloves of garlic. You can add more if you want to. I love the flavor of fresh ginger in a soup. You talk about smell-o-vision, really? Ooh, there we go. There's that ginger, beautiful ginger smell. I call this my anti-sick soup. Okay, at this point, I'm going to add my stock, and in this is probably about 2 cups. And I think it filled up the pot about 1/3 of the way, so I'm going to add the rest of this, which is about another 1.5 cups, but if you wanted to, you could do 4 cups of your favorite chicken or vegetable stock, whichever you want to use. It's not vegetarian if you're adding chicken though, right? And then I'm going to add my chicken. Throw you right in there. If you want to do noodles or anything with this, make sure that you're not adding the noodles till the very end, or cook your noodles first and then pour your soup over it. It comes out much better. All right, now it's going to come to somewhat of a boil, and I actually pulled out of my freezer a little bit of, I had frozen green beans in there. I didn't grow too many in my garden, but I still have ones from my garden, the string beans, but these were straight up frozen green beans that I'm just going to throw in the soup. What the heck? I'll add my laurel or my bay leaf right in there. I'll add all my veggies. Feel free to have fun with this and put in whatever you want. You can get a nice, what are those white beans? The navy beans. And, you know, take a 1/4 cup or 1/2 cup of those and throw them in there as well. That would be fantastic. Okay, I got everything in there. Now I'm going to add some black pepper. Now this is going to be a little bit on the spicy side. This will get your circulars. If you got a stuffy nose, this will clear it right up. Just saying. Now your salt and your pepper is to taste. I'm going to add some salt, probably about a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to give it a stir. Find out where I put my stirrer. I think I should switch to my ladle at this point. And then I'm going to get my tasting spoon and just give it a taste. Very, very important to taste your food as you're cooking. Oh, that's perfect. Woo! A little spicy. Now, if you wanted to, if you don't want it as spicy, add a little bit less. I put a whole small jalapeno in there, but you can certainly take the seeds and the rib in the middle out and then slice it up. It won't be as spicy. I like the spice in there. So I'm going to put this on low. It's going to simmer. I don't know. Let's see. I could do a 1/2 hour. I could do 40 minutes. I mean, it's on low. So it's low and slow, and it's going to go. And like I said, whatever noodle, whatever your favorite is to add to this, wait until the end. Sometimes I like to take a potato and peel it and cube it up really small. And the last 20 minutes or so, throw that in there. I mean, whatever you like. But the basis of this is that to boost the immune system soup, and you get that delicious garlic and the ginger and your celery and your carrots and the jalapeno and all of these really, really delicious ingredients and your chicken. It's really a good warm you up on winter days, keep you from getting sick, boost that immune system. I mean, it's an awesome, awesome soup. And if you don't eat the whole thing, feel free to jar it up and stick it in your freezer for the next time. Just don't fill the jar up all the way because it'll expand and it'll crack. Past experience. Okay, here's my ladle. One more stir. Oh, it's fantastic. I'm going to do a straight up egg noodle with this. And what I like to do is, because I want smaller pieces, I take the egg noodles and I put them in a Ziploc bag and I crunch them up. And then right before the last 5 minutes, I dump them in there and I got my noodle soup. Some people like to cook them first. I've seen that a lot where they put the noodles in the dish first and then put the soup over it, the cooked noodles, and then put the soup over it. You can certainly do that too, because if you let it cook in the water, in the soup too long, they actually blow up and they lose the texture. And I kind of like that a little al dente in my pasta, whether it be noodles or spaghetti. So I hope you love this recipe. I hope you try it. Let me know how you do. Let me know what changes you've made to it. Make sure you're tasting your food. That is key. Because then you know, hey, I didn't put enough salt. Or hey, this time I put too much salt. Write things down. I mean, this is a really great recipe. And I really hope you enjoy it. Next time, we're going to be taking this gorgeous bread that I showed you earlier. And we're going to be doing the ultimate roast beef sandwich called the Godfather. Thanks a lot, guys. Till next time. Ciao.